Hi, everybody. Sorry I can't be here today. Got a meeting Mr. Orland says we're going to be at. So also sorry for my clothes. I worked out a little bit before I'm videotaping this. Anyway, we got a really short period today. So we're going to do one thing and one thing only. And that is on your note sheet, page 4, number 5. 2 problems, all we have. We may do a couple more examples. I don't know. We'll see how our time goes. But we're going to repeat or redo what we did yesterday. So let's just refresh our memories. What did we do yesterday? Yesterday, we wrote the equations of lines given 2 points. And what did I tell you you had to have in order to write the equation of a line? You have to have a point and you have to have a slope. So in most of our problems, this isn't on your note sheet, this is review, just sit back and enjoy this. In most of our problems, we had a couple of points. There they are, 2 points. And we're going to run, let me make a little change here so we don't have too easy. We're going to write the equation of this line. So the first thing we have to do, no matter which way we're doing the problem, and I think that's where some confusion comes, because we can do the problem using slope-intercept. This is called slope-intercept form, or we can use point-slope. Ultimately, groupies, it doesn't matter. Your job is to write the equation of the line. Either way, though, either way, you have to have your slope. So step 1 is, no matter which way you're doing the problem, step 1 is find the slope. So my slope will be 8 minus 2 over 3 minus 1. Y minus y over x minus x. That's old news. We've already talked about it. Y minus y over x minus x. So that reduces to 3. So our slope is 3. Now, if you're doing the problem with slope-intercept, or if you're doing the problem with point-slope, either way, you also need a point. We now have our slope. Now we need our point. Now, you get to pick. Just for fun, and because the numbers are smaller, I'm going to pick this number, or this point. So my equation, if I choose to go with slope-intercept, and I'm going to use this slope and this point, then this is my x and y. So here we go. Y equals m times x plus b. So 2 equals 3 plus b. Notice, groupies, all I did was plug in. I have an m, an x, and a y. I just put them in. So b equals -1. That is not the answer. The answer is y equals mx plus b. There's the answer. Now, what if you decided you were going to do the problem this way? Absolutely need the same information. We need a slope and we need a point. I'm going to go ahead and use the same point. Doesn't matter which one you use, I'm just going to use the same one. If I'm doing point slope, then this actually is x1, y1. So m is your slope, as always, and the point is x1, y1. Then I just plug. So y minus 2, I'm plugging in right here, y1 is 2, equals 3 times x minus 1. So y minus 2 equals 3x minus 3 if I distribute. And lo and behold, y equals 3x minus 1. So I get the same exact answer no matter which way I do the problem. And that should always happen. Okay, now that's review. Now I want you to look on note sheet 4, page 4, number 5. Because it says we're going to write the equation of a line parallel to y equals 3x minus 5 and containing the point negative 2, 3. Now, we're writing the equation of a line. I gotta go shut the door, she's sweeping. Sorry about that. We're going to write the equation of a line, so we need two things. We need a point, looky right here, there's our point, and we need a slope. Shoot, where are we going to get this slope? Let's think about it for a minute. This looks like this, doesn't it? Y equals mx plus b. So what's the m here? What's the m in this equation? It's right here, isn't it? Y equals mx plus b. So the slope of this line is 3. But I don't want that line. I already have that line. I want a line parallel to this one. Now you remember from geometry what parallel means. That would be a picture of parallel lines. What do you think is true of the slopes of parallel lines? You're right if you said they're the same. Parallel lines have the same slope. So if the slope of the line I gave you is 3, then we're going to use 3 as the slope of our answer. So we're going to use 3 as the slope and this as our point. Here we go. I don't care how you do it. You can do it either way. It doesn't make any difference. You can do it slope-intercept. You can do it point-slope. I'm going to do one of each. Y. Now look, the y happens to be the same as the m. Don't be confused. This is my x and my y here. That's the point they gave me. Y equals 3 times negative 2 plus b. So 3 equals negative 6 plus b, and b equals 9. That is not the answer. Y equals 3x plus 9 is the answer to the question. So this is the line that's parallel to this line, but goes through this point. Obviously they're parallel. They have the same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. Now let's look at B. B is the same thing, only we're going to be perpendicular. So we're going to be perpendicular to this line, and we're going to contain the same point. So this is our point, and we're going to be perpendicular to that line. Now, groupies, just like before, I need the slope. Somehow I got to figure out the slope. So I can't tell what you're thinking, but I hope you're thinking, boy, let's mess around with this equation and try to get the slope of it. Now, what's the key to getting the slope of this equation? The key is you have to make it look like this. Because if you can make that equation look like this number, the one that's hooked to the x, that number will be your slope. So we're going to take this equation and I'm going to make it look like this. In other words, I want to get y all by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract the 2x. So I'm going to move this 2x to the other side. Now please don't add these together. They're not like terms. So you got your negative 2x and your 1. Now I'm going to divide by -4. So y equals, okay, now look here, let's reduce. Y equals 1/2 x minus 1/4. Now I know that's full of fractions, your heart's probably racing, but just chill for a minute. The slope is 1/2. Now that is the slope of the line that you were given. Okay? If I wanted a parallel line, I would use 1/2. But I don't. I want a perpendicular line. And last year, Mr. Thompson and Mr. Miller told you what to do to get a perpendicular slope. Do you remember? I hope so. I hope you remember that perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. Negative reciprocal slopes. This is the symbol for perpendicular, by the way. Sometimes instead of saying negative reciprocal, we say opposite reciprocal. So if the slope of the line you were given is 1/2, then the slope of the perpendicular will be the opposite reciprocal of that, which is -2. The slope of the line we're given is 1/2, and we found that by taking the equation and getting y by itself. We just moved things around and got y by itself. And as soon as we got y by itself, we knew this number right here was the slope, because y equals mx plus b. Since this question wants a perpendicular line, I can't use 1/2. I have to use its opposite reciprocal. The opposite reciprocal of this, flip it over, you get 2/1. Make it opposite or make it negative, you get -2/1 or -2. So my slope is -2 and my point is still -2, 3. That was given in the problem. I know we've done a lot of talking here. That's given in the problem. Now, I can either use slope-intercept or I can use point-slope. Since I used slope-intercept in my last one, I'll use point-slope this time. So in point-slope, that's my m, this is my x1, y1. Remember, in the real world, you get to pick. I want you to practice both ways, so I'm practicing this one this time. So here's my form. So I'm going to have y minus 3 equals -2 x plus 2. Be careful. It's x minus x1. So when I do x minus -2, it would be x plus 2. So y minus 3 equals -2x minus 4 when I distribute my -2. And y equals -2x minus 1 when I add my 3 to both sides. And that finally, after a whole bunch of jabbering, that finally is the answer. So, two things I want you to remember for today. One of them is review. When you write the equation of the line, anytime, any place, you need a slope and you need a point, period. Then you can choose whether you want to do point slope or slope intercept. Either way, you're going to use a slope and a point. Now, what's the other thing I want you to remember? I want you to remember that you can get the slope of a line. If you already have a line, if somebody has already given you a line, you can find the slope of that line by getting y by itself. So rearrange things, subtract things, move things around, get y by itself. And then whatever the coefficient is on x, after you get y by itself, y equals, that coefficient will be the slope. If you want a parallel line, use that slope. If you want a perpendicular line, use the opposite reciprocal slope. That's it. You got some homework problems to do tonight. I promise that on Monday we will have some time to go over the homework, and I will be in class on Monday. So have a great weekend, be safe and smart.